Coach Chris Luma. Along with 2018 Hall of Fame coaches Centella, Dunny, Lodich, and Green, who all coached at only one school, Coach Luma has also coached at only one school. 35 years, all at Hudson. 13 conference championships, 5 undefeated regular seasons, best 3-year record, 39-2. 17 years state playoff qualifier with 8 district championships, 5 regional championships, 2 years Division 7 state runner-up in 2003 and 9, and in 2010 undefeated Division 7 state champion. Detroit Lions Coach of the Week, 4-time recipient of the Toledo Chapter National Football Foundation Coaches Award, and a 2-time Lenawee County Coach of the Year. 6-time MHSFCA Regional Coach of the Year, and 2-time MHSFCA Division 7 Coach of the Year in 2009 and 10. Coach Luma will begin his 36th year at Hudson next fall. Coach Luma's biggest thrills in coaching. Number 1 is winning the 2010 Division 7 state championship. That game was over Ishpeming, and it was revenge for a loss we had to them in 1975, 36 years before that. The first year of the playoffs when my assistant and brother Mark Luma and I were players. Number 2 is the double overtime victory in 2009 over Mendon for the regional championship. Coach Luma's most humorous incident in coaching. It was probably when I first started coaching junior high, and my now defensive coordinator, Dan Rogers, was one of my players. Our bus driver was a no-show. The athletic director asked if I could drive the bus. I said yes. I could. I fishtailed the bus up the muddy hill to our stadium, and the kids loved every minute. Why Coach Luma loves coaching. I coach because I love the competitiveness of the sport and working with kids to come together as a team. I also enjoy coaching because it was coaches who helped me through the toughest part in my life, when my father passed away. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Hall of Fame, Coach Chris.
Thank you. First of all, I want to know how did I get behind Coach Lang? Great job, Coach. I'd like to congratulate all the coaches that are up here this evening, and thanks to the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association for this great honor. I'd like to thank the community of Hudson, the Hudson School District, for giving me the chance to fulfill a dream of coaching football at Hudson High School. It's sticking with me through all the years. The first year, 5-4 season, a couple of 21-20 losses back-to-back, and I think they were looking for my head there, but they stuck with me, and the accomplishments we've been able to do over the years, I'm very proud of. I want to thank those who have helped me through the 36 years of coaching. If I could have my wife and kids please stand up. First ones I want to thank is my family. My wife for 26 years, Tony. God bless her for all the coaches' wives. You know what they have to put up with. And then along with the best kids Dad could ask for, my daughter Sarah with her husband Zach, my daughters Erin and Courtney, and my son Zach. We helped us win a league championship in 2014. I'm hoping that someday I'll be able to coach with my son, so we're still working towards that. I want to thank my brothers, Mike and Kevin, for their support and encouragement throughout the years. Thank my brother Pat. He was coaching before I started coaching, so he was where I learned how to break down films, watching him do it when he was coaching Hudson right out of Eastern College. So that got me started on the right foot. I'd like to have my 3 assistant coaches that are here stand up, Mark, Billy, and Dan. My brother Mark. My brother Mark's here with his wife Brenda. Mark is, the great assistant coach. year in and year out, people ask us, how do you guys rush for 300 yards every single game, it seems like. Right there's the reason why. He's our line coach, does a great job, and you know, he's one of those guys that are just loyal and dedicated, the perfect assistant coach. The other one that's here with us, Dan Rogers, is a longtime defensive coordinator of mine, and he's here with his wife Lindsay, absolutely one of the best defensive coordinators, I think, in the state. I mean, we go against some bigger teams in our league. We play some private schools all the time that come in with great athletes, and he finds a way to keep us in the game by defending them. He's another guy that's just straightforward and loyal and a perfect assistant again. Another assistant that stood up over there was Bill Seymour. He's a longtime friend of mine and just one of those guys that I've been able to depend on for anything I've needed throughout the years. Another guy that's not here that's helped us, Jim Driscoll. He kind of volunteered his time to help us, and Jim is, you know, one of those guys that just comes in voluntarily and helps us with our scout team, and any coach here knows how hard it is to find somebody to run a good scout team. I want to thank our Hudson superintendent, Mike Osborne is here with his wife Nancy. You know, these guys are always very supportive, positive reinforcement, and it didn't hurt that when he moved in, he brought 4 sons that were pretty darn good for him. Other coaches who have been a reason we've been consistent over the years, my JV coaches, Jeremy Beal, he's also our athletic director, a guy named Hayden Craig that's been helping us, young guy, and then our junior high coaches stayed consistent over the years, and that always helps any program. That's Scott Murray, who's a wrestling coach, 7-time state champs in wrestling, so you got a guy like that down there coaching your junior high is a big plus. And then Dave Rickard, who's here tonight. Dave has been with me forever, very loyal guy. He was actually my JV coach back in the day, and I thank you, Dave, for everything you've done. Also, I want to thank the guy who kind of directed me into coaching, and he's here tonight. He was introduced earlier. He's a Hall of Famer himself, my high school coach, Tom Saylor. Tom was both a blessing and a curse, I say, to be coached by. The blessing is that he's the best mentor anybody could ask for as a coach, but the curse is the guy holds the record for 72 straight wins in the state of Michigan. So you come out of there coaching thinking, you can't lose. You can't lose. You lose a game, you fail because you're following this guy who never lost. And so it took us a while before we finally figured out a loss or two was not the end of the world. But he was a tough act to follow. And as he said earlier, Tom kind of took me in like a son when I was in high school after losing my dad at the age of 11. Gave me a summer job, taught me the right way to do things, and I really thank you, Tom. I want to thank the coaches responsible for getting me into coaching. A good friend of mine, Jeff Monahan, back in 1983, told the head coach at the time that he knew a guy interested in coaching. So Phil Lawrence hired me as a junior head coach back then, and did that for about 6 years, and did some JV level for a while. And then my first real break came when Tim Beckler, who's a Hall of Famer, also became the Hudson coach. And he asked me if I'd be his assistant coach. So I worked with him for 5 years, and then he taught me the system that we use today down at Hudson. So I can't thank Tim enough for all he has done for me. I have one player that I want to kind of mention, and after 21 years as the head coach, you'd think not one player really sticks out as much, but this kid really does. He was a kid with a special talent, set the standard high for players to teams to come to Hudson after the second year I was coaching. I had him for 4 years as a starter, and his name was Taylor Ramos. He's one of those rare kids that just everybody came to watch at the Hudson games. He brought the excitement to the game. His ability, his leadership was just the thing that got our program on the right track as we were young coaches. Just a great kid, and for that I'm grateful. I want to close by thanking the 2 guys who nominated me for this honor. Our local sports writer, as Coach Ling said, we're a small school. We got a little paper in town. This guy is there doing articles and player of the week, and these kids are just thrilled to see their picture and their name in the paper as much as it is, thanks to Bill Mullally. The other guy I want to thank is our sports announcer that does all the different sports at Hudson. We call him the voice of the Tigers, and he also nominated me for this, and a good friend, Jim Bills. So again, thanks to the association, and God bless all of you. Thank you.